Okay. Hi, good. Okay, so everyone, welcome to Breslev Efrat with the Araya. Always, and we're in Hilchas Hashkamas Habayker. We're in Halacha Gimel, and we're in the middle of Aleph. We're going to start picking up from a Kishiyesh Lo Yamun Shleim, and that's where we were in that paragraph yesterday. So let's just start from the beginning of the paragraph, and we'll go through it systematically. Okay, Be'ezras Hashem with Siyata D'Shmaya always. Are we ready? Everyone have the place? Okay. So a person can come to Emunah Shalema via one's eating. Fascinating. But the Rebbe speaks about this in lesson Samach Beis, lesson 62. The whole concept of eating and making the rectifications via eating and so on. But we have to understand something, that there's always what's called mosros and klipos. What mosros are extra things, right? So in other words, we have to make a different separation between what I eat that I need to survive, what I need to eat. I need bread, I need water, or maybe I need some milk. I need whatever I need. What I need, and then it's all the other things that I eat that I don't necessarily need. So the thing that we're going to learn here is, when we eat things that are from the extras, where is that coming from? That's coming from the Yetzer Hara. It gives us the idea that we should eat some more stuff. We should eat more. Eat more. Why? Because if I eat more, then the Yetzer Hara has a connection to us. He's connected to that extra, and he can control us. When we're talking about the questions, which one's the answer, not the answer, and so on. We're trying to understand, where does the Yetzer Hara get his source from, his source of energy from. So it comes basically from the Maasros. Now, the Baal Shem Tov said Baal Shem Tov said many amazing things. One of the things the Baal Shem Tov said that was very, very profound was, whenever a person feels that they're hungry, right? You feel you're hungry. So the Baal Shem Tov said it's really in the Neshama telling you have to learn Torah. Is that not Musar? Right? Anytime you feel hungry, it's really in the Neshama crying out that you have to learn Torah. But the Yetzer Hara, because the Yetzer Hara wants us to say, okay, eat more, so then he can control us. You understand? So again, if I can every time. And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to eat a balanced meal and all of that. It was supposed to be healthy and do things, but certain people eat things to like to be a glutton and to be things like that, right? And they said, well, let's differentiate from that. We're not talking about what we have to eat to be healthy and get a proper balanced meal, and things that are extra. And there is overindulging on the dessert, let's say, not the meal itself, okay? Okay. Now look, you'll understand why in a minute, okay? And you can make, through one's eating, you can make a yichud kutchabrichu shchinte. You can make that unification between the Shechina, which is our neshama, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because we said that the Shechina is really made up of Nishmas Yisrael. Right, so then when I can control my neshama, whereas if I'm giving my neshama its nutrients, what it needs, so then that automatically becomes a unification between the Shechina and the Kadosh Baruch Hu, because the neshama is also a chelik elikam imal. So in other words, if I can bring my neshama and give it the proper credence that it deserves, and I can do that, so then I'm automatically making with my guf that yichud, that unification between Hashem and the Shechina. Neshama, which is a chelik elikam imal, Shechina with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Understand? Okay, good? Okay. Ki habeirus shel hamacholim hu al-yedei emunah. So when we clarify, when we're digesting, the digestion, I guess, the bearer hamacholim is digestion, right? The digestion of our food, hu al yedei amuna, is based on our amuna. If we understand If we understand, again, when we make our brachas, the Rebbe speaks a lot about that, the importance of making the bracha properly and with thinking of, and not just mumbling a bracha. To say the words, one word, Baruch, Ato, Hashem, or Baruch, however you want to say it, whatever floats your boat, okay? However that works, okay? But to do it with, again, the digestion of the macholim is through our emunah. The ikar shleimus keshute emunah, who hainu lekarev daika merchakim. So in other words, the main point, and why are we trying to do this? Because again, what's the greatest mitzvah that we can do? Is that we can bring Jews back. Right? We can bring Jews that are unaffiliated Jews, and we can help bring unaffiliated Jews back into Klal Yisrael, and to help them to teach them. And this is a very, very important thing. But to do this, through this, I have to, so to say, what's the right word to use? I have to purify. I have to purify my dibur. I have to purify my dibur. Now, how do I do that? When I could do that, so then I could take back the other dibur, the other things, the other nitzaitzes, the other sparks that were ingested by the klipas. This is a little bit complicated. I'm sorry, but we're gonna work this through, okay, with Hashem's help. So when I'm working on the digestion through the emunah, and then what I could do is this: I'm taking back. I'm hoifech es atzma yadibah. I could transform the dibah malake sharin itzaitis agdusha mina klipas. So I could take them out of the klipas. The klipas are the sources of impurity. And when I can work on using my emunah with my brachas, with my eating, with my digestion, what I can do is I can actually take the tzaitzes back from the klipas that took them. I can take it back. You understand that? In other words, we can force them to return the tzaitzes that they stole from us. Does that make sense? So you don't know, should we explain that? No, okay. If you got it, good. Okay. Well, hadibar tzarich l'tainis. Now, how are you going to do this? How are you going to lift up these nitzaitis hadibar? How are you going to do that? Through tainis. Why tainis? Think about it. Because again, when a person eats and he has the maisros, like we said before, the extra food in his body. So then, when he fasts, what goes first? The extra things. All the extras go out. And then if the person's fasting for the reason because he wants to get close to Hashem, right? And that's another thing that we spoke about the 2 weeks ago when it was Shavasa B'Tamas. And there's a tainus. The whole point of a tainus is to bring us closer to Hashem. That's the whole point. In other words, we get carried away. Oh, we can't eat. I'm going to be thirsty. I'm going to be. That's not the focus is to make you to take us away from being indulging. Really indulging, because Chazal understood, we get carried away when we eat. We get carried away, and then we don't have a chance to take back what we need to take back that the klipas are constantly stealing from us. So when I can fast, the klipas have no choice. They ate, in other words, while we ate this thing, they took the kedusha for themselves. But when I fast, and I'm getting rid of it, they have to give it back. So I can redeem the klipa via me fasting. Now we spoke about this before, that there's also the idea of tainus sha'ot, right? There are hours. In other words, it's not only when we fast full days, but again, those hours that we get up in the morning until we eat, until we drink, there are a certain amount of hours. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But
you would say specifically those hours in the night, as opposed to, let's say I have breakfast at 9.
Yes, right.
Lunch at 1.
Well, we have lunch at 1, but that's not really a tainus. In other words, when you went to sleep, and then you weren't eating, that's considered fasting, right? Like if you ever have to go for a blood test, they tell you can't eat. Right, so they wouldn't, that would not work for let's say you ate breakfast and then to lunch, right? I don't think that would work. They wouldn't accept that.
Maybe like 7 hours or 12 hours.
No, I'm just giving. I'm giving. I'm giving a mushal for the nimshal. Okay, that's why I use that example. Okay, all right. Now, okay. So again. So in other words, we can all accomplish this. We can all accomplish this idea via recognizing when we're not eating in the morning, when we're not eating, then I want to try to make that part of my tinus. I want to use that time in the most beneficial way as I possibly can. And here the Rebbe speaks about, this is an amazing idea. This line here is fascinating. Through a person indulging in eating and drinking, these are the main taivas. Now, why would that be the main taiva?
Eating and drinking?
Eating and drinking. What we may think that it's really no. People may say it's more sexual desires is a bigger taiva, right? The Rebbe speaks about that. But he says like this. He says really the food is a bigger taiva than everything else. Why?
Because there's klipas in it?
No, because again, the Yetzer Hara can control the person via his food. So in other words, if the Yetzer Hara, the taiva is to eat, and the person has a strength because he ate, then they'll be able to indulge in all the other taivas of the world. You can't have the other taivas without the food. So the food is really the beginning. It's the beginning factor. The Rebbe is going to say that. He's going to say in a few lines, all the beginnings are difficult, right? What does that mean? Why is that? What did that connect over here? Because again, if it's difficult, if my food is the main catalyst, if we use that word, maybe that's the catalyst to bring me to all the other taivas, chas v'shalom, right? That's the catalyst. So so I have to be very careful how I eat. Okay, when it's misgaber, when those taiva I want to eat more, I want a bigger steak, I want a bigger this, I want whatever the case is. Okay, hey, mamshichin esadiba legolas mitzrayim. Look at this. Then it brings my dibur to the golas mitzrayim. Why mitzrayim? So the Rebbe says in lesson 62 further, because that's what we're drawing from. The Meitzar, he brings down Meitzar Garon. Meitzar Garon. It's the constriction of the throat. So he's really talking about over there, the back of the neck, the back of the throat, the back of the neck is really the Achoyrei HaKedusha. We're going to see in a minute. That's the Achoyrei HaKedusha, the backside. Many times, when I'll give you this example. Let me give you this example. There's a din in Shulchan Aruch of Mayim Achronim, right? What's that? After we finish eating, we have to use water and wash our hands, right? The Gemara speaks about that because there was a certain type of salt, whatever it is. But either way, that's the halacha that we're supposed to do Mayim Achronim. A lot of people don't know that. That's an actual din in Shulchan Aruch. It's not a minhag. It's a din in Shulchan Aruch. Ad kedei kach that the Shulchan Aruch discusses that if you have, if you're in a situation where you only have a certain amount of water, and so what should you do? Should you wash your hands before you eat the bread, or should you save the water for the mayim achronim? So most people will say, of course, you have to wash your hands before you eat the bread, but that's not the answer to Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says, save the water for the mayim achronim. Rav Nosson says, he says, why is that? Because when I'm eating, and I make that bracha, let's say I made a mistake and I didn't eat and I didn't have the right kavanah while I was eating. Let's say I didn't have the right kavanah, whatever, I got mixed up during the meal, whatever it is. So he says you have a chance after the meal to take the mayim achronim, and so to say, give something, and Rav Nosson says an amazing thing, use something for the mayim achronim from the meal itself. He says specifically take something from the meal. Don't get next other water. Take something from the meal and wash your hands. Why? He says because this way you're giving something to the other side. You're giving something to the Eitzar. You're giving something to him so that way he doesn't have permission to take. You understand? Fascinating idea. In other words, give him something. Like they say, give the dog a bone, he'll go running home, right? There's something, a thing like that, right? So give him something so that way he's taken care of, and he can't take what he's not supposed to take. So the same thing that we're learning of, I'm trying to give you different examples to understand. It's a little bit complicated. So and please, if you have any questions and we could discuss it, we can. Oh, here, okay. Hey, mamshichin es adiba legolas mitzrayim. So now we understand the Meitzah Garon. He says now, va'oz tzrichin ledabek acharei kedusha shelo yinku. So now what I have to do is I have to go to the backside of the kedusha, so I don't allow them to come in and take, so to say, to attach itself to the main part. In other words, I go to the me'acharei kedusha, I go to the back, so I don't expose too much kedusha. I keep it hidden. He's going to explain. Udveikus acharei kedusha hu ayedei atainas. And how do you get the dveikus? How do you get this connection, the dveikus of the acharei kedusha? Through the tainus. Why? Again, because you're starving. What's the tainus? You're starving the Yetzer Hara. You're not giving him. In other words, he has to now give back the nitzitzis that he took from us, because you're not using that food anymore. You're giving back the food. He has to give back the nitzitzis. Gam ki ikar kol advarim heim haschala, and that is what we're saying. The main thing is the haschala. So the whole point is the way I eat, the haschala, and the Rebbe says ki kol haschalas kashas. All new beginnings are difficult. Kol haschalas kashas. Anytime we're going to try to do something, it's going to be difficult, and anyone will know if they're trying to start a mice in an organization or anything. When they start, it's going to be very, very difficult. And the way you know if you're doing what you're doing is good is if you have difficulties, when you're starting it, you know you're doing something good. Because if it was not something good, there wouldn't be any problems. The Sitra Achra doesn't want us to do good things. He wants us to do bad things. So if we're going to try to do something good, he's going to have opposition. Make sense? Okay, now, va'oz kishin is dapkin acharei kedusha. Now when I can connect myself to the acharei kedusha, notice I go to the backside, the Meitzah Hagara, and I go to the backside. Over there, she efshel aklipas likones l'sham linay. So there the klipas have no, they have no opportunity. It's impossible for them to come in and to take what they're not supposed to take. Voznis galan upon him shel kedusha. And then when the klipas are in check and they can't do anything, so now kedusha can be I could show it because I put the klipas all in check. Kidei lohitzi bilami piyam, to take out from them what they swallowed up. Vos painim kol ha'rechaikim le'amunas Yisrael. And now, you're going to see, the Rebbe is going to explain in the next paragraph, don't worry. And through this system, you're going to see in a moment, guys, don't worry. Through this system, what's going to happen is, all the Rechaikim are going to turn. They're going to turn the Rechaikim Lemunas Yisrael. So there is, based on how we're eating, we can really affect all other Jews. It's so amazing. We would never think that when I'm sitting in my house, and I'm having my meal, how am I affecting other Jews? But we're learning here we are. Or if I don't eat and I'm fasting, and that's helping other Jews, yeah, we're learning it does. Look, he says the Navi Tzefanya. Look at this. As kol amim safa berura. What I'll do is I'll transform all the nations into a clear speech, a safa berura. A clear speech. What does that mean? Daika shahapeh berura. Shahapeh berura. That the mouth will come now to be clear. What? Yeah, safa is the speech. The mouth will be now clear. Bechinas hadiba shenizbara mibneihem. That's clarified between amongst them. Who haifech panav ela amim. He could turn his face. He can now turn his face to the nations. The Rebbe is going to explain in a minute, and there's based on this, he's explaining to us the system over here that now we can now turn to the nations and take back all that they stole from us. All of the klippas, everything that they took from us, we can now take it back. Wow, amazing. Okay. Va'oz niskayim likroi lechulam b'shem Hashem. And then it'll be mekayim, the words that everyone will call out in the name of Hashem. When we can make these rectifications and we can mitigate all of these problems and all of these different things via the way we eat, to eat properly, kolas cholas koshes, like we said, and then the times that we're fasting, to understand that we're trying to take back the klippas from the times that I didn't eat well, like we said from the Baal Shem Tov. Every time we feel we're hungry, we're supposed to just remember that really the neshama wants us to engage in avodas Hashem. Okay, David, you see anything else different over there? Or we're okay?
Yeah.
Okay, v'zeh, now this is a beautiful thing over here. V'zeu, everyone had the place, v'zeu? Ulemta shepirta the leisla einen. Strange words. What does that mean? That the maidservant, the beautiful maidservant, the beautiful matron that doesn't have eyes. Who is that? That's talking about our neshama. That's the neshama. Watch. Nafkas b'tzafra v'skasya b'yemama. It shows in the morning. Tzafra is the morning, but it's hidden. It hides itself during the day. What does that mean? And we'll see what the Rebbe explained. This is fascinating. Ki emuna mischadeshes eitzel adam b'chol baiker. Because we have an influx of emunah every single morning, in the morning. That's when we have our influx of emunah. B'bechinas, look at this, he's quoting Eicha, Chadoshim la bekarim rab emunasecha. Every morning, there's an increase, an influx of emunah every single morning. Now look what he says now. Umiskasya b'yemama, but it gets hidden during the day. Why? Machmas tirdas iskei ha'olam, because I'm so busy with my business dealings and all the transactions and all of the things that transpire today, niskasi amuna, the amuna gets hidden. But we're learning, Chava, that it doesn't have to be hidden. In other words, the amuna does not have to stay hidden. In other words, we have to learn, and that's what the whole point of the limud is, that all through my day, I can turn my day into avodas Hashem. Everything I do can be part of serving the Rabbeinu Shalom. When I eat, when I'm not eating, when I'm learning, when I'm doing business, when I'm talking to a customer. When I'm talking to a customer and I'm like with the Rebbe we learned yesterday, it's so important to know halacha, to learn hilchos choshen mishpat. How do I deal with people in business? What's the right way? What can I say? What can I not say? What am I supposed to do? What am I not supposed to do? And notice when I know these things, I'm mamish living my day. The whole day is avodas Hashem. It's fascinating. So then we can absolve ourselves from the day losing our emunah, because if we're engaged with Hashem, shivisi Hashem lenegdi summit, like we said yesterday, Hashem is everywhere. That means Hashem comes with me to the office. That means Hashem comes with me to my home. That means Hashem comes to me in my car or wherever I find myself. Hashem is there with me. When I do that and I recognize that I'm doing everything for Hashem, so then I can keep my emunah strong. Okay? V'az, now look how he says now. V'az emunah hi mamletzes al harechoikim lifnei Hashem yizbar sheyakare v'aisam. Look at this. Now the emunah is demanding that the rechoikim, emunah itself is demanding from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that what lifnei Hashem sheyizkare v'aisam, bring everyone back. Look how empowering this is. In other words, if we live with emunah, and we're doing what we're supposed to do, and we do our fast the right way, look what we're accomplishing. We can cause emunah to be raised to such a level where it can demand from Hashem to bring back the rechoikim. We can help all our brothers and sisters throughout the world. V'zeh vayigash elav Yehuda. Look at this. He brings down vayigash elav Yehuda. Da tekurvta the Malka b'Malka. That is the two kingdoms coming together. The Malchus Beis Yosef and the Malchus of Yehuda. Okay, those are the two kingdoms coming together. Which is Yehuda, and they really are Kodesh Baruch Hu, because Yehuda, we know, Rashi tells us over there from the Zohar that really when Yehuda was talking to Yosef, right? So really, who was he talking to? He was talking to Hashem. He wasn't speaking to a man. He was addressing really Hashem. When Yehuda came to talk to Yosef, remember with the whole thing with Binyamin? Right, so when he approached by Yigash Elav Yehuda, when Yehuda approached, who was he approaching? Hashem. He was really pleading his case to Hashem. He wasn't pleading his case to Paroi. He was pleading it to Yosef. He was pleading it, and now watch this. Ki kamoicha keparoi. What's his name? Yehuda said that you're kamoicha keparoi. You're like Para. You're kamaycha k'para. Ma Para goes of einay mekayim. The same way Para can make his decrees, and they're not coming to fruition. They don't come they don't come and turn it into anything. Afata goes of einay mekayim. Also, you, Hakadosh, he's really speaking to Hashem that Hakadosh Baruch Hu can make a gezerah ki atzadik mevata. This is a fascinating thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Chazal tell us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can be geyser gezeres, but a tzaddik can come and be mevatel the gezerah. Amazing. Tzaddikim can be mevatel the gezerah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ayin Shem calls that hatev. You can see all of this further in the lesson, and because the Rebbe is talking about in Samach Beis also the whole idea of emunah tzaddikim and the koyach of the tzaddikim. And all this. So now we can just see from here. Does anyone want to have any questions on this or any comments? Sasha, please.
I understand he explains over here like the general concept, like the tzaddik, this tzaddik thing works. Like, how is this affecting me? This some tzaddik sitting somewhere, and how does
when we have emun, when we have emun in the tzaddikim, when we believe in the tzaddikim. We have to believe in the tzaddikim, right? That's our job. We have to believe in tzaddikim.
I understand it's not even, I don't even have to do anything sometimes.
Sure.
From here. Because like he says, like you eating properly, it can affect
everything.
A lot of people. So the tzaddik, he's like this professional.
Of course, of course.
And he can affect so many more people.
The tzaddik does. The tzaddik does. The tzaddik does. Anytime we learn, whenever we learn the words of the tzaddikim, we're connecting ourselves to the tzaddikim, we have the protection from the tzaddikim. Of course, 110%. 110%. But we're seeing how we're learning, again, everyone has to eat. There's no question about it. We have to eat to survive. But Rav Nosson is showing us here when we eat, to do it in the right way, to make the brachas the right way, to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom. When we say the bracha achrona, to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we have an opportunity. Think about it. We have an opportunity when we made the bracha rishona, we have to make a bracha achrona. We have to make the end bracha, right? Why? Again, to fix it. If I didn't make the bracha right, my eating wasn't right, when I make the bracha achrona, I could redeem it again. I have another opportunity. So he's showing us the beauty of what a fast is, the beauty of what Shulchan Aruch is, and how we should know how to answer like we said yesterday, how to answer the questions of the Apikaris. Who's the Apikaris talking about? The Apikaris in our own cells. Where does that come from? That comes from every time we eat the wrong way. We give the Yetzer the opportunity to fight against the Yetzer Tov. And that's the apikuros that comes out. So again, via making the brachas the right way and eating properly with the proper, with the proper hashgachas and the proper food, and we eat in the right way, we can accomplish so much and avoid so many problems that we can avoid for ourselves and for all the Klal Yisrael. You want to say something, Shachar? No? We're good? Okay, so I guess we'll stop over here. I just wanted to show you one thing, Shachar. If you take a look at the next thing, I don't know if you're going to be over there, but look what he says here. Ki emuna hi bechinas malchus shenikras Shachar. Emuna is called Shachar. How do you like that?
I love
Now you want to know why you're such a Baal Emunah. Now you understand why, because your parents gave you the name Shachar. Okay, shkoyach.